Hello, everyone. Let's take a cross-cultural trip around the world in 20 minutes. My name is Presntiss. Okay, nobody. So let's start with Africa. That's our first destination. Before colonial rule, Africa was comprised of 2,000 different states with different languages and customs. Africa has over 2,000 recognized languages. Ethiopia was the place where the oldest human remains in the world were found from that number. The largest religion is Islam, followed by Christianity. Moving forward. So the first place I want to show you guys is Zambia. Zambia is located in the central position of South Africa, so it's basically in the heart of South Africa. It's surrounded by a few countries like Angola, Tanzania, with Zimbabwe underneath. That's important, so remember that Zimbabwe's underneath. All right, so my creature, he is called the Nami Nami. Pronunciation is right there. Yami Yami. Anyways, he is the Zambezi river god. He has the head of a dragon, the body of a serpent. He lives in Lake Kariba, which borders between Zambia and Zimbabwe.
I'm just going to say Zambia and keep going.
Zambia, yes. This god is worshipped by the Tonga people who live on the valley near Lake Kariba. Okay, cool thing about this god. He essentially, they believe that he is the protector of the Tonga tribe. So he provides fish, water to fertilize the land, and rain. So they pray to this god. And he lives under a rock, which is called Rock Kariwa, which translates as trap. There's a whirlpool underneath the rock. And when I was doing research, it talked about how a villager was trying to see the Yami Yami, and when he went near the rock, it sucked him in. And so they believe that that whirlpool sucks you to the underworld, because the bodies never turn up. With the Yami Yami, he essentially, when the lake is going, when the current is going in a specific direction, he goes the opposite direction, and the water turns red. He is worshipped yet feared. And this necklace right here is what a lot of the tribe members and the Tonga people wear when they get onto the lake as protection, because they view him as, he is our protector, but don't mess with him. Moving forward, he has a wife. Her name is Miss Kitapo. She is basically a river spirit / goddess that takes the shape of a mermaid. She is like the mother of Zambia. And she punishes people who have evil hearts. So if you step into the water and you cheated on your wife or your husband, or you murder someone, she will suck you to the underworld. But if you are a good person, she will help you cross. She has been known to save children as well as people who were drowning from the whirlpools that Yami Yami created. She also expects offerings, so like once a year, sacrifice a goat or something, and she'll be happy. Moving forward. All right, so with historical context, the Kariba Dam, which was started to come into play in the 1950s by the British government. They proposed to build a dam between Zimbabwe and Zambia because they wanted to bring more electricity to the area and more power. And they promised all the Tonga people that, hey y'all, we'll give you electricity so you can have more schools and more healthcare facilities. And they pushed all the Tonga people to a land that was infertile. And a lot of the tribe people were upset because they were away from the lake. So they tried to rebel. Some of them got killed by the colonizers. Moving forward, they prayed to Kitapo and Yami Yami. And the biggest storm came to the city and knocked down the dam every year. Every time they kept building it, it kept getting knocked down. They started in 1950, it didn't stop until 1960, and the dam is up now. But even though the dam is up, there are Tonga people who still pray to Yami Yami, and they say that he is still upset. He turned his back on the Tonga people because he was their provider, and now this dam is up, he's separated from his wife, and so he turned his back on society, and he's not helping the land, and so they feel like they're underprivileged because of the dam. So that is my piece.
So, I have Japan. And no, I have no rabbits in my thing, I just felt like wearing these. So, first thing I'm going to talk about Momotaru the Peach Boy. Not based off the movie that I keep getting asked about. So basically this is about an old man and an old woman. The old woman one day goes to clean her her and her husband's laundry, and she finds a large peach at the river. She decides to take it home to her husband so the two can eat this peach. But they find that in the peach is a baby boy. It's really weird. So they decide to raise this boy, and he grows bigger and bigger as they feed him. And then one day he decides he wants to defeat the Ani on Ani Island. I think that's either ogres or just demons. So, but the old people didn't want him to go, but in the end they couldn't change his mind, so they let him go and gave him this food called kibi dango. On his journey he meets a dog, bird, and monkey, which he also gives the kibi dango to. And when they eat this, I believe it's like some dessert, if I'm correct. They grow very powerful, as powerful as 1,000 armies. So they defeat the Anis, and the king decides to reward the boy, and he then goes to his grandparents and his parents, and takes care of them for the rest of their days. Next. Oh, I forgot. This is a little disturbing. But this is the Kuchisaki or the slit mouth woman. There's actually a movie based off of her. I don't know if it came to America, but it was pretty popular. So this woman, she walks around with a medical mask and walks up to strangers to ask, "Am I beautiful?" Be very careful of what you answer though, because the first time you say yes, she'll take off her mask and you'll see her unique mouth. And she'll ask you again, "Am I beautiful?" If you say yes again, she'll cut your mouth with scissors to make you as beautiful as she is. As it says, "Then I'll make you as pretty as I am." If you turn your answer to no, she cuts you in half with her scissors. If you originally say no, I believe she just kills you again. The only way you can get off is if you say you are decent. If you tell her you are decent, she will be on her way and she will not hurt you.
She goes, oh.
Yes. She became this way actually after cheating on her husband, who used a samurai sword to cut her mouth from ear to ear so that she'd never be beautiful again. It actually got really popular, this story got really popular in 1979 because people were saying that they'd seen this woman, so children weren't allowed to go home by themselves at night. They had to be escorted, and there was even sightings outside of Japan. Next. Ooh, this is my favorite. This is my creature. It's a kitsune, which is a fox demon, or fox yokai. It's one of the most popular Japanese yokai. The word comes from kitsune, which is to come, and ni, to sleep. So kitsune. It's connected to Inari worship, which which is farming, fertility, prostitution, and warfare. They themselves are not the creatures that give this, but they are said to be messengers for the Inari. So people will have little stone fox stand guards in front of the shrines. So they are known for the worship, but they're also known to be wild, wicked tricksters. So they like to delight in mischief, pranks, or just they're straight up evil. They're good at keeping their promises, but they do like to change it, because they have the power of shape-shifting. So there's a lot of stories about how they'll change into beautiful women and take these men and become their wives. But the men normally don't know they're foxes until they get scared by dogs, loud noises, things like that, and then you'll see their tail or their ears. They're also known for fox possession, which they can control a person's body from the other world. So they're not in the human world, but as I also said, they're known to change into beautiful women. And then these are my cool facts. Kami-sama actually is something that's very close to yokais. Because people either will call a creature a yokai or a kami. Kami means god or deity. So a lot the kitsune, while it is known to be a messenger, some people might consider it a kami. So any creature really could be considered a god because Japan has a lot of gods because they have a ton of shrines. Every shrine has their own god that they worship. I'm not gonna pronounce that right.
Zashihi.
Yes. And that's actually a child that is known to be, if it's in your house, you're known to have good luck, riches, prosperity. People don't really know how they get there, but they're something that you want to have in your house. And then you have the Yonaki Ishi, which is basically a crying rock. The story actually comes from a pregnant woman who was like killed, but her love for her child and wanting to protect it, she went her spirit went into the rock, and somehow her child was born from the wound. I don't know how that happened, and so she cried and cried, and somehow someone found the child near the rock, and like a few years later, the child became an adult and got revenge on the man that killed his mother. I think that's all I have.
All right, let's pause for just a moment.